Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the first round, what am I saying? The first match on the losers bracket for their first round of 8. Anthony with you once again, and if you're not familiar with how the Omega Invitational is working, basically this is a double elimination tournament, so you have to lose twice before you are eliminated. So there is a loser's bracket in play. The 8 individuals who were knocked out in the round of 16 have moved to this loser's bracket, and we have a roll-off happening here off camera, or rather on a different screen right now. I will get to the result here in a moment. But in the meantime, for our first loser's bracket match, and not losers with a W, just losers spelled losers, we have Vangelus versus Zero. They are still obviously on the same decks they were before. MegaRatchet, Exhaust, and Brawn on Vangelus' side, and Mirage, Wave 1 Mirage that is, Fireflight, Vanguard, and Taraxodon on Zero's side, so that white icon nonsense. And I almost accidentally kicked Vangelus from the call. That would have been very bad. I'm just reducing all participants' audio down to a level where it isn't blasting in my eardrums as I talk. And I'm not sure who's going first here. Okay, Vangelus, it looks like he won the roll-off, and he is going second, and we will be off to the races here momentarily. Drawing for turn on Zero's side, and here we go with Mirage attacking on turn 1, probably. Stream is rolling. I forgot to mention that. You're clear to go. I forgot to let them know that I probably I set up the stream. Start of turn. We see Exhaust activate Brutal Conditioning. So, yeah, we are off to that shenanigan again. And again, we have 2 Monster Menagerie cards in the event. 1 MegaRatchet, 1 Bonsai-tron, as we saw last night. Also, speaking of last night, there's a chance I may have misspoke regarding the upcoming matches. I might have said that Techno versus myself and Aussie versus Legendary were going to be happening tonight. That is incorrect. They are happening tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern and 11 p.m. Eastern, respectively. So we're having Zero versus Vangelus right now, and then at 6 p.m. Eastern, Tank versus Frank over on Tank's Twitch page. And then tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, myself versus Techno. And at 11 p.m. Eastern, Aussie versus Legendary. And I believe Tank is going to be streaming Aussie versus Legendary. We will see Mirage go in here on Zero's side of the field. And Tank is taking Aussie versus Legendary. That'll be over on his Twitch page at 11 p.m. Eastern. Link in the description to the Twitch page for Tank. That went into Megatron Ratchet. Blocks 3, takes 2. We are over to Vangelus' turn. Almost said Zero's turn, but whoops. Thankfully, I corrected myself. And then Pig Exhaust for a counter. Draw for turn. So what does Vangelus have up his sleeve this time? And I will say this, because this is a loser's bracket match, somebody is going home as a result of this match. We will have our first elimination from the OI. We see Megatron Ratchet flip to bot mode. It would probably help if I had something else pulled up here for later. Okay, we are still waiting for something on Vangelus' side here, which gives me time to pull something up for later in the stream. Opportune offensive coming down onto MegaRatchet and going into Fireflight. That is probably a dead Fireflight. 8 Pierce 3 going into 2, 10 Pierce 4. 10 Pierce 4. And Firefly would take enough to get killed here, except Vanguard is a thing, so he only takes 5. Vanguard, ladies and gentlemen. Vanguard. Anyways, there would probably hope if I got Teletran open so I could take a look at things if absolutely needed. Second elimination. Sandman lost to Energon Hustler last night. Okay, yep, so technicality, good call there. So, Sandman is the first one out of the event, so we're going to have our first elimination on camera. I can still say it's the first elimination somehow. Exhaust gets another conditioning counter, and we are continuing to roll. So just a quick recap of where everything is on the bracket right now while we're waiting for Zero to make a move. Brett and Celiag have advanced to the winner's bracket top 4. We have a move. Contemplation comes down. I have talked about this card before. You scrap up to 3 cards from your hand, then draw a card for each card scrapped. Great cycling card. I love this card. I do not play it nearly enough. And then there's an option to plan one if your entire starting team was Autobots. Yeah, and it looks like Zero might plan one. Well, we're waiting for that. So, Celiag and Brett are in the winner's bracket top 4. Swinging Mirage into MegaRatchet for 5 into 2 takes 3. So, on the loser's bracket front of things, Naga got knocked down to the loser's bracket. He'll face the winner of Frank versus Tank. Dave advanced to the second round of 8 on the loser's bracket, and that's where Naga and Champion are currently. Champion will face the winner of Wheeljank versus Mr. X. And then this match, right now, Zero versus Vangelus, the winner of this will face off against the loser of Legendary versus Ozzy. So that is where the bracket standings are right now. And we move over to Vangelus's turn. And then Exhaust will go ahead and get that third conditioning counter. And that is online now. And I'm going to turn Vangelus's volume down a little bit more. So Exhaust is fully charged up. Brawn is still able to do things to no, wait. Well, actually, if Vangelus sends Brawn into Fireflight here, Opportune repairs on MegaRatchet. That's always a fun card. But yeah, if Vangelus sends Brawn into Fireflight here, flipping MegaRatchet, pinging Fireflight for 1, and that will heal 1. Because that is how MegaRatchet works. You do a damage to an enemy, and if the target of that was an Autobot or a Decepticon, you heal 1 from MegaRatchet, and the damage does not have to be dealt in order to get that heal. It's just the target has to be an Autobot or a Decepticon. Sending Brawn into Fireflight. Okay, so that play does make sense. Going in for 5. Flat. I think Fireflight will get KO'd here. Yep, Fireflight is off the field here, albeit involuntary promotion has been activated on Zero's side, because he can just go from Terraxodon into Fireflight, bring him back on full health right now, and Terraxodon is then going to cause some problems with Mirage. Moving back over to Zero's turn now. Draw for turn. Does he have the involuntary promotion? We know that's in his deck. We saw it, I believe, during the last match he was in, which was versus Champion. There's a contemplation, so that means he does not have it unless he's willing to flip Mirage this turn. But given what I've seen of this deck, I don't think that's a play that Zero wants to make. So we're waiting for the scrap. Scrapping 1, which is a hold line. Impetuous, that's 2. He's going to scrap 2 and then draw 2. Again, this card does kind of rely on you having a decent hand size, but it is pretty good. Paralyzo on Mirage. Let's see if this can cause Brawn or MegaRatchet to start taking a little more damage and speed up the clock on Vangelus. And we're getting a check of what the primary icon color is. It looks to be a primarily orange deck on Vangelis' side. Mirage into MegaRatchet. Calling orange on the Paralyzo box. It is a blue. So this is going in for 5. And MegaRatchet does not get that Fearless icon because he is ranged in this mode. Going into 3. 5 Pierce 1, it looks like the hit is. So 5 into 3 takes 2. Wait, what? Okay, I was like, Vangelus said it's either 1 damage or Pierce 1, and I'm like, no, Fearless is melee blue, but we're good there. So, 2 damage gets put on, 2 damage gets put on MegaRatchet, and Vangelus will now draw for turn. What is Vangelus thinking right now? Flipping MegaRatchet up to bot mode? Sorry about that silence there, folks. I had to sneeze. And Vangelus seems to be eyeing up Taraxodon, but remember, Vanguard is on the field, so there is no one-hit KO potential here. So Vangelus now might be eyeing up Vanguard just to get him off the board, because that is a crucial piece of the deck. Enforcement Baton's coming onto Exhaust. Interesting. That gets rid of the Paralyzo on Mirage. Do we have an action on Vangelus' side? Ooh. Anglebois. That is a very questionable decision, honestly. Because right now, Exhaust is swinging in for 5, 6, 7, 8 into Vanguard. Vanguard would die there. What? I do not understand why Vangelus is playing that Anglebois. Yep, and I think Vangelus just realized he screwed up. I think you have to go into Vanguard here. Yeah, Vangelus seems to be thinking about going into Vanguard here. Going into Vanguard. Again, that Anglebois was not necessary based on numbers, but yeah, he is definitely dead. 15 Pierce 1. I think that is a dead Vanguard. And then Vanguard becomes a helmet, doing a damage 2. Going for the MegaRatchet. Almost said, I was going to say waiting for the call, but it is going on MegaRatchet. Now we will move over to Zero's turn. He is not looking too good right now, as Bill makes a reference to What's Opera Doc. And Mirage Taraxodon left on Zero's side of the field. Nobody on Vangelus' side is particularly hurting. Hand of Adaptus to draw a card. Again, Hand of Adaptus, if you haven't seen this, is the 1C open replacement for Mission Briefing. So you draw a card for each character you have on the field that's in bot or body mode. And instead of just that being the condition, there is an additional stipulation that each card you draw has to come as a result of a character that is in Botter Body mode that has a alt mode, so you can't use Battle Masters to cheat it out. He could have forgotten Vangelus or Vanguard's ability and was hoping for a huge hit on Mirage. Yeah, that is absolutely what he was thinking. But, yeah, that's what the misplay I was talking about that he was referring to. 3 going into 2, taking 1. I think MegaRatchet's now up to 5. Yep, so he's a little over third of the way there on damage, but because, Zero's deck really relies on having Terraxon. There is a Javelin on Mirage, though, so that could help accelerate this process a slight bit. But as much as I hate to say it, things are not looking good for Zero right now. That, Fireflight getting nuked fairly early is detrimental, and not seeing an involuntary promotion to swap Terraxon for Fireflight to soak up a bit of additional damage is a bit of a problem. Okay, no greens on Vangelus' side. And then Mirage attacks, doing 2 to MegaRatchet with the Javelin. Going in for 5, Pierce 1. Because there was an invuln promotion flip there. 5 into 2 takes 3. And then he untaps. Wait a minute, could MegaRatchet get KO'd here? Hold on a second. Second swing, going into MegaRatchet, I think. 5 Pierce 1. Alive on 1! Are you kidding me? Not this again. Free Gyrick when? Ay, 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 ay. So what is Vangelus doing? MegaRatchet can heal 1 on flip, which he is going to flip. Pinging Mirage for 1, and that will heal 1 off. Flipping MegaRatchet. A secret action comes down. And a Fusion Boar comes down onto Brawn. I will talk about Fusion Boar a little bit in between games. And Brawn is going into Mirage for 3, 6... 6 Pierce 6. Taking 6. So now Zero is up. MegaRatchet's alive on 2. Brawn is the only character that can be attacked, though, right now. So unless Zero is holding on to a Cayman Crash, which I don't think this deck would play, we'll see what happens. Javelin goes on to Mirage, so that actually solves the MegaRatchet issue. I forgot Javelin was a thing. So now the question is, how much damage is Zero going to be able to do to Brawn here, and will it be enough to withstand not Onslaught, Exhaust on the Crackback? Hit and Run comes down, flipping Mirage to alt mode, moving the damage over to Exhaust, it looks like. And then Mirage's alt mode trigger. Hold on one second. Were you going to play an action off Mirage's alt mode flip? Okay. Okay, so no alt mode action from Mirage. Sending Mirage into Brawn, Javelin to kill MegaRatchet. So now this game has gotten interesting. Zero has at least equalized that part of the field, because 10 stars worth of his characters are off the field. Same with Vangelus. It's a 2v2 now. Lose the Battle got revealed on Vangelus' side, so if you haven't seen this, when a character defends, you get to return a weapon to your hand from your scrap pile. Decent card. It's not like the greatest thing ever, but it's actually got its uses. And as Vangelus shuffles the deck chairs, Mirage goes in for 5, Pierce 1. Brawn takes 1. And then now, can Mirage or somebody take a hit from Exhaust here? Mirage has 7 health remaining and 2 defense. Exhaust is attacking for 8 base. 8 into 2 is 6. You can only... If Vangelus gets +2 attack here, he KOs Mirage. Pinging Exhaust for 1. There's the +1. Does Vangelus have another +1? Is he going to flip Brawn? Interesting. I think that's the first time I've ever seen Brawn flip to bot mode. Playing Fearless onto Exhaust. He'll get the +2, so he didn't even need to ping Exhaust there. And then there's a Fusion Borer. Oh, wait, is he going after Taraxodon? No, he is going after Mirage. That Fusion Borer was a bit unnecessary, as he had the numbers with Exhaust. Or actually, he has the numbers with just Fearless. Oh, no, wait, I forgot Mirage has a armor. Never mind, that does complicate the numbers a little bit. But either way, the ping wasn't necessary, I don't think. Either way, Mirage is dead. I forgot about the armor. And then Zero goes ahead and concedes this first game. So Vangelus has taken game 1, and while we are waiting for the sideboard process, I've mentioned this before, Team Formers is running a series of giveaways to coincide with the Omega Invitational, and you can enter that giveaway at this link here, bit.ly/OI giveaways. And during every match throughout this event, whether it was streamed or just happened on the Bayformer server, as well as in some content before the start of the OI, several codes were handed out that you could use to get yourself an entry into the giveaways. And you can enter in multiple codes, and if you're looking for either your first code or another one, I am plugging one in right now. N9Z8. If you enter that at bit.ly/OI giveaways, you'll either get your first entry, or if you've already filled in a form, you can go ahead and go back and edit it and add this code in for an extra entry. And this week's giveaways, in addition to the usual full set of World Strike, full set of Phase 1, full set of Monster Menagerie, there is a sealed mint inbox Generation Selects lift ticket being given away. So if you're interested in that, enter N9Z8 at bit.ly/OI giveaways, and you'll have your shot at that. And of course, be sure to go check out other matches that are here, and there's also a couple over on Tank's channel, as well as a few videos that were released before the OI if you want additional codes for additional entries. And it looks like we do have some sideboarding action on both sides of the field, so let me go ahead and update this. On Vangelus' side, Fireflight has come out. And on Z-R0E's side, it looks like Taraxodon and Fireflight have been replaced with Wave 1 Jazz. So we'll go ahead and shuffle the deck chairs. Now we saw Jazz come out in Z-R0E's other match versus Champion, so yeah. Ooh, MegaRatchet. Yeah, I'm enjoying seeing MegaRatchet on the field. Again, I did say in my OI meta-analysis that if I saw any Monster Menagerie cards that weren't Bludgeon, I was going to be very confused, but after playing this deck casually a little bit, there's something behind this, I will say that much. And I mentioned earlier I was going to talk about some Fusion Boar stuff, and I mentioned Hand of Adaptus earlier as a 1C open card. Well, the next 1C open card that is currently entering testing is Mecha Star, which is a replacement for Fusion Boar. It's the same concept, black icon weapon, except it gives +2 attack and Pierce 2. +3 attack, Pierce 3 was a little too much, for lack of a better term, and bringing it down to +2 Pierce 2 makes it a much more balanced card, and on top of that, brings it in line with Calculated Strike, which is a black icon action that gives +2 and Pierce 2. Additionally, this card is being used to pay tribute to Derek J. Wyatt, as many members of the Allied Crossplay community were extremely saddened by his passing somewhat recently. How long ago was that? They were saddened by his passing, long story short, and they've been wanting to make a card to honor his influence in the overall Transformers community, and Mecha Star is that opportunity, as James Otron has gone and created the animated Prowl, the throwing stars that animated Prowl used in the animated art style for this card's art. So James Otron, if you're watching this, thank you very much for doing that. The card absolutely looks amazing, and it is a fantastic way to pay tribute to Derek J. Wyatt. And I will say this may not be the last tribute to animated you see in the TFTCG. Keep an eye out for that. Anyways, we are moving back into the game here. Game 2, I do not know who's going first. I had my headset off during that, so that way I could actually talk about both of those things. And somebody just posted a meme of Soundwave working at Subway. And Z-R0E is going first here, and we will move into Game 2. There's Vangelus' 3. There's Z-R0E's 3. Draw for turn. And at the start of the turn, Exhaust will take a damage, and Beacon is now activated. Flipping Mirage. Sending Jazz into Fireflight. Now, we'll talk about Jazz's strat when it comes up here in about 15 seconds. And also, Heroic Spotlight isn't played. If you're wondering the star card that Z-R0E is using, it is Ultra Magnus Armor. More on that in a bit. Fireflight will take 3 as a result of this attack. Dropping looks to be a Hand of Adaptus for a Hold the Line. That is reasonable given Fireflight on the field. Start of Vangelus' turn, he'll activate Exhaust to get another conditioning counter, and unlike a certain matchup in, I believe, the side pre-invitational or possibly Encounter 5, Vangelus is actually activating Exhaust at an opportune moment. Flipping MegaRatchet. Opportune repairs to heal Fireflight for 3. Oh, that is always a good move. And then, who does Vangelus send in here? You don't want to send in Exhaust at this point, so that's a non-option. I think really just MegaRatchet is probably the best play. Maybe Fireflight, but... And Vangelus is just checking in on what Jazz does with his stratagem. And again, I will get to the effect, but I will say this. It's a 1-star strat that gives him +1 attack, +1 health, and of course has that effect, which I will talk about in a second here because it is a bit confusing. And not Vangelus, Zero is now explaining how this card works to Vangelus, because this card is a wall of text, and it makes absolutely no sense 90% of the time. And in fact, I will pull it up on Teletrade and read you the exact wording. Because if you ever read this thing and have not taken the time to process it, it does seem a little weird. So MegaRatchet goes in for 6 Pierce 2. Okay, so how this thing works is when Jazz defends in alt mode against an attacker that has Pierce and he flips at least 2 whites, you do 1 damage to Jazz, and then he can't take more attack damage than damage he has on him. So in this instance, the attack had Pierce 2, so Jazz flipped 2 whites, then took a damage from the strat, and because he has 1 damage, he can't take more than 1 damage from the attack. So he took 2 damage from that as a result. Essentially, he took the Pierce damage there, if you think about it that way. We'll move back over to Vangelus's, or no, Zero's turn. I forgot whose turn it was again. Whoops. And what is going to be the play? And for a second, I thought I had a camera freeze, but thankfully, I did not. Zero is thinking. Hit and run comes down. Wait, what? Hold on, is that how that card works? He just played a hit and run. Hold on, I gotta check something here. I do not think that's how that card works. Because Zero just didn't fail to flip. Hold on. Hold on, is that how that card works? Or did he oh, wait a minute. Hold on, I'm gonna jump in here. Actually, hold on. I'm just gonna message Bill on this. Okay, so I think what happened is that Zero flipped Jazz before playing that hit and run. And then Mirage goes into 3, takes 2. And then we have some greed icons. Picking up a Paralyzo. And could not see what that drop was. Hit and run does not work in that way. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm trying to confirm if Jazz flipped to bot mode before triggering hit and run. I am curious about what happened there, because that is... If Zero played it the way I think he might have played it, that is not how that card works. But because he didn't flip anyone else's turn, I think he meant to flip Jazz to bot mode, then flip him back to alt mode. Secret action comes down onto the field, not onto exhaust. That's not how that works. And then Fireflight going into Jazz. Going in for 2. Going in for 3 Pierce 1. No, the MegaRatchet move was taken back, and I believe it was moved on to Exhaust instead. Yeah, it was moved on to Exhaust again, instead, I think. I'm just gonna jump in here for the chat. Who was the damage from hit and run moved on to? Okay, that's what I thought, just making sure. Yeah, it was Exhaust. So yeah, I think what happened is, Zero flipped Jazz to bot mode, then played the hit and run to flip him to alt mode. He just didn't flip it because roundabout reasons or whatever, and then moved the damage to Exhaust. They fixed the MegaRatchet thing. I believe that is what happened. So we're moving over to Zero's turn, because Fireflight just attacked. And then Jazz took a damage and then took another damage. No, wait, he took a damage and then took 2. That's how that works. Because, yeah, 3 blocking. Either way, Jazz has 4 damage now. Paralyzo box comes down onto Mirage. And also, I forgot that Jazz had +1 attack earlier, so I may have screwed up some math readbacks earlier. Mirage going into Fireflight. Paralyzo box calling orange, and he is 0 for 2. Are you serious? Good lord. Even I don't miss Paralyzo box that often. Going into 5, or go for a 5. 5 into 2 takes 3. $10 says Vangelus has a Opportune repairs in hand. And are you kidding me? Vangelus is playing Lose the Initiative too? Oh no! Ouch! How the hell did Zero run into 2 people that were playing the Lose the Initiative in some capacity? Holy crap! That is the definition of unfortunate if I've ever seen it. Ow! Mirage remains tapped. Oh, that has to hurt. That has to hurt. Fireflight will become untapped instead, and Vangelus will draw for turn. How did Zero run into 2 people playing Lose the Initiative? That is just unfortunate. Toolbox on the MegaRatchet. Flipping MegaRatchet. Repairing, or doing a damage to Jazz, and then repairs 2 from MegaRatchet because of the toolbox that was played before the flip. I have honestly never seen it in sideboards. I honestly have never seen it used until just now. So Fireflight goes in. Okay, so there is no Pierce on this attack, so Jazz can only take 2 damage. And he is now up to 9. He's alive on 2. He has +1 health thanks to the strat. No. No, he is not, because the strat gives +1 health. I jumped in right at the right moment. I heard Vangelus saying how much damage is left, and I'm like, okay, watch as Zero says 10. Says 10, I immediately jump in like, yeah, that's not how that strat works. So we are having a live on 2 situation. There is another toolbox. Toolboxes are just getting flung around. Secret action comes down. Then Vanguard into Fireflight. Going in for 3, I believe. 3 Pierce 1. 3 Pierce 1. Going into 2. Takes 1. And then we move over to Vangelus' turn, and Exhaust is gonna get to do some things. Albeit I smell a Hold the Line set on Zero's side of the field, because that would heal 2 off of Jazz and make it somewhat difficult to kill him. Flipping MegaRatchet. Oh, wait a minute! He can't hold the line now because MegaRatchet can prevents enemies from being repaired. Exhaust has a free kill on Jazz here. So Vangelus has some opportunity to set up here with other characters. Unless he has a Cayman Crash in hand? Just swinging Exhaust into Jazz. It was a Hold the Line. He cannot repair, so that does nothing. Going in for 6 Pierce 1. And that is a dead Jazz. And then Jazz is dead. Bounty will trigger for Exhaust to move a damage. Moving a damage to Mirage, and we will have an untap here. So we move over to Zero's turn now. He is definitely getting knocked, or, Vangelus definitely has him on the ropes. Ow, I was actually banging my knee into my desk. We have a reshuffle on Vangelus's side here. Or not Vangelus, Zero. God, I am confusing the both of these two. I don't know how that's happening. There is a leap of faith coming down. First card is Sturdy Javelin. Putting it on the Vanguard. And then Impetuous removes the toolbox on MegaRatchet. That is the second card off of Leap. Most orange or orange-black decks have at least 1-2 lose the initiative in their sideboards, or at least they should have. Again, like, the only decks it counters are Cars and Mirage, and if Cars see an uptick in play, I absolutely will agree with you on that. But at the moment, Cars really aren't doing too much, unless there is a major swing in the meta happening soon, which we will see what happens going through OI if any Cars decks come out on top. And Fireflight is dead after this attack from Mirage. Mirage will untap here in a moment. Dropping a scouting mission, it looks like, for a lose the initiative. Might have been something else. Drawing for turn on Vangelus's side. Nitro boosters I can agree with, but new orders, I will refrain from saying anything on that because I haven't seen that card a whole lot. Flipping MegaRatchet. Doing one to Mirage, healing one. It would have been two if it wasn't for that meddling Impetuous stand. Putting a Fusion Borer on MegaRatchet. Again, we won't be seeing this card after this event. Secret action gets set. MegaRatchet will go into Vanguard, I believe. Going in for 9 Pierce 4. That destroys Vanguard. Becomes a helmet and does the damage to MegaRatchet. So, it's like he never healed the damage to begin with. Anyways, moving over to Zero's turn. And Bill's randomly jumping in with random comments for some reason. So what is Zero thinking about here? Fireflight is off the field, but Exhaust and MegaRatchet still have a decent amount of health on them. Hand of Adaptus to cycle a card. Or draw a card and, you know, replace... You know what I'm saying. Mirage getting moved over. Just open up a little more room on the mat. Rapid Response Cycle gives +1 defense. And I think that gives an additional defense as well against characters with more stars than him. I'm checking that right now. Mirage will go in here. Calling orange on the Paralyzo box. And he missed the Paralyzo box, so that is 5 flat, it looks like. Takes 2 on MegaRatchet. Untap. And another lose the initiative! Wait, does that card resolve? Is that how that card works? Also, rapid response circle. Yeah, when the upgraded character defends against an enemy that has more stars in it, the upgraded character gets +1. But is that how Lose the Initiative works? Instead, untap one of your characters that has the same stars or fewer. Oh, actually, yeah, that does work, because Exhaust is 8 stars, and that is less than Mirage, so he can just declare Exhaust untaps and then fails to untap because he's already untapped. I believe that's how it works. That does make sense. I'd have to confirm with Techno at some point later. Exhaust has an Ankle Moth Surge and a Graft, and Mirage is about to get smacked 6 ways from Sunday. He does have 6 defense, though, so that is something. Going in for 14. 6. Blocks 5. What? Oh, no. Exhaust has only 1 defense from rapid response cycle. Yes, you do as much as possible. Yeah, okay. That's how I thought how it worked. Oh, are you kidding me? Is Mirage alive on 1? Mirage is alive on 1. Of course, it had to be that. Top of the turn, pinging Exhaust for 1? For what reason exactly? Bill's jumping in with a question. Okay, so there was just a bit of asking about some logistical stuff for whatever reason. Impetuous standing the polydermal graft, that always hurts. Mirage going for a glory kill at this point. Going into Exhaust, calling black. He got it! He actually got a Paralyzo box! He's 1 for 4 on the day. $10 Pierce 1. 10 blocking 5. Taking 5. Alive on 1. No, not alive on 1. Alive on 3. Alive on 3. Not a meme. Vangelus did drop a, looks like a reprocess for Lose the Initiative. Gee, I wonder what that secret is. Javelin on a MegaRatchet. And because he is ranged, that is game. And with that, Vangelus has taken this match 2-0 over Z-R0E, and Z-R0E has been knocked out of the Omega Invitational, the first elimination we've had on camera. MegaRatchet doing some work all of a sudden. Good lord. And you have to feel bad for Z-R0E just because he's run up against 2 people who are playing Lose the Initiative, which is, again, not a very common card in my experience. I'm going to emphasize that part, in my experience. But Vangelus, with that, advances on to the second round of 8 on the losers bracket. And let me take a quick check as to who he'll be playing against. He'll be playing against the loser of Legendary versus Aussie. So whoever loses that match will be playing against Vangelus in the next losers round of 8. And, yeah, Z-R0E has unfortunately been eliminated from the event. 2 competitors down, 14 remain. And we have already gotten 2 top 4 winners bracket individuals decided. 3 of the 8 slots in the second round of 8 on the losers bracket have been resolved. and we are still that's not the word I'm looking for. We're still looking forward to a lot more action in the next couple, or actually in the next day or so. Because again, as soon as this wraps up, actually in 15 minutes, Tank versus Frank over on Tank's Twitch page, which let me go ahead and drop that link in the description on the losers bracket. This is happening. So if you want to go watch that match, you can go over there and check that out. Whoever wins that match advances to face off against, let's see here. Whoever wins this match has to face Naga in the second losers round of 8, and whoever loses is eliminated. That would be the third elimination of the event. Again, Zero has fallen 2-0 using the Mirage White Icon Shenanigan Untapped deck versus Vangelus and his every Opportune you could possibly think of deck. And with that being said, that will do it for this broadcast. Hopefully you enjoyed what you saw here today. If you did, there's a little red button you can push down below to show that, as well as a link to the main channel in the description. And tomorrow's matches so there's one more match today, like I mentioned. Tomorrow's matches, one of them will be recorded and re-uploaded to this channel. The other, which is Aussie versus Legendary, the first one being myself versus Techno. Aussie versus Legendary will be streamed on Tank's page, which, of course, I dropped that link in the chat, so be sure to go check that out tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Eastern. And with that being said, that will do it for this broadcast. Peace out, y'all.